Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to talk about cloud computing. Before going into or understanding the Azure fundamental or Azure data fundamental, I thought we should understand what is cloud computing, why it is important, and why business are moving towards the cloud computing. How cloud computing changing the way we work, and also I'll tell you the real life example in this session. So before moving ahead, I would like to ask a simple question like, have you ever used Google Drive, OneDrive, or Dropbox? And I hope everybody would be using, right? So if you are using these services, we call as a services. If you are using these services, then directly or indirectly you are using cloud computer services or cloud services you are using. Okay. If you are watching the Netflix, right, movie, or watching movie on Netflix, right, then you are using cloud computing. So now I'll that's what I thought cloud computing, we should understand what is cloud computing, why it is important, and why every business are moving towards the cloud computing. So let's start. First of all, I will tell you about the definition of what is cloud computing. So as the definition says, cloud computing means using the internet to store and access data, application and services instead of relying on local computer or physical system. So in earlier, right, we in past we have also seen the example of on premises system, where what we have to do or companies had to do is they had to buy physical machine, they had to buy the storage disk, they had to buy network, they had to maintain the security, and they have to do all the, I mean, patching, backup, and all other tasks which are really required for our business or to continue our business, right? Now in cloud computing, we don't need to worry about infrastructure, but in on premises we had to worry about the infrastructure and their maintenance. But here, once you will start using the cloud computing, you don't have to worry anything about the infrastructure. Everything will be maintained by the cloud provider. We have different cloud provider in today. So, like Microsoft, Azure, that is a cloud provider. You can also use Google, GCP, and AWS. Now, let's understand why are businesses moving to the cloud computing. Let's break down into five simple reasons. First is cost saving. So, this is really right cost effective solutions. Cloud, whenever you are using cloud system, you don't have to worry to buy expensive hardware, you don't have to buy software, you don't have to maintain them, or you don't have to worry about their security and all. So company is getting benefit using the cloud computing. Second is scalability. So understand the scalability. Suppose you are executing an application and today the volume is very low and you are able to execute. But tomorrow, if you have a high volume, then what you will do, right? You have to buy a new hardware or computing system so that you can perform your operation, right? That again a time consuming process, and you have to buy the hardware, right? But in here, you don't also don't have to worry about scalability. You can do this activity within few clicks, or using few clicks. Like whenever you want to scale the computing power or storage, you can just scale it. And whenever if you don't need that scaling power or storage power, then you can decrease it. But in on-premises system, if once you buy, you don't have option to decrease the system, you have to use it, otherwise it will be kind of waste the money, right? Third thing, work from anywhere, right? It is called accessibility also. So in on-premises system, right, we have to use the system which is available in some place, right? We cannot use our own computer or work from anywhere. But here, once you start moving into the cloud computer, you don't have to worry about this, because you can just connect, you are just working on internet, and you can connect that internet from everywhere. So that is accessibility also a good benefit. Security and backups, right? In on premises system, you understand, right? We have to create our own IT team or on infrastructure team which maintains the backup, security, and all other stuffs. In cloud provider handle all those things. We don't have to worry about the infrastructures. We don't have to worry about our data and all. Everything you can get it, because they also maintain the backup also. Faster deployment. So, as you know, right? Suppose we had to use some software. Suppose any new software requirement we have, or SQL Server 22 we want in on-premises system. Then what we had to do? We had to buy the software, then we have to install, and then we start using the different configuration, and then only we can use it. But here, if you want the same software, easily you can use it. Just go ahead and just config just create the service set, and you can use within a few clicks. So let's understand now cloud versus on premises system using the real life example or real world example. Imagine a online bookstore that sells book across the company. At first, they store all the inventory or books in one hard drive, or a small warehouse we can call as. Manage their website using a computer which they are using in their office. Right? Everything was fine. There's no issue in as of now. But since business grows, right? And when they start growing, then what will happen? And more visitors will come. They will start using the website, they will start using ordering and all. But they have limited resource, right? They have limited RAM, they have limited hardware, they have limited storage. But they, as and when, right, more visitors comes on their website, the load will be increased. And the to maintain the load, what they have to do is they have to buy new hardware, new computation power, new storage, so that they can maintain all those things. But this is, right, again, cost, expenses. Then second, it is time consuming process. But in cloud, we don't have to worry all about it. Everything we can do within few clicks. Suppose today we want more storage, we can increase the size within 5 minutes. Today we want more computation, we can increase the computation power. And not only this, but the also benefit is, if suppose tomorrow we think, okay, the load is very low, I don't want, we can just decrease the size, decrease the computation power, and we will have a less cost, right? Because everything here on cloud computing, it is pay as you use. We don't have to upfront give any cost. Whatever we use, we have to pay the amount for the same. If we are not using, then we don't have to pay anything. Okay. Okay, so now let's understand the type of cloud services. So there are three type of cloud services available in Azure platform. That is infrastructure as a services, or we call as IaaS, platform as a services, that we call as PaaS, and software as a services, that we call as SaaS. So there is difference between these three services. So if we talk about IaaS, or the example is Azure Virtual Machine, so here IaaS provides virtualization computing resource over the internet. It includes server, storage, networking, right? So business is responsible for maintaining the operating system, application, and configuration. So the use cases, right, for infrastructure as a services, we will have full control, and second, if we want to migrate the system from on premises to cloud, the same we can use in this services, using this services. Now second is a platform as a services. When we talk about the platform as a services, uh PaaS provide a managed platform. So when we call as managed platform, means everything is set up by the provider. Only we what we can do is we can develop, we can test, and we can deploy our application without managing the infrastructure. Infrastructure is still managed by the provider. Okay. So the use cases is when the developer want to focus only on the coding, they don't have to worry about the configuration and application. Everything will be done by providers. So in this case we use platform as a services. Now software as a services, it is ready-made services, we can call as a ready-made software, or like Gmail, right? We just create the Gmail and then we use it. We don't have to worry about the storage, computation, and all other configuration. We just use on over the internet, and everything will be managed by our cloud provider. Okay, we will understand all this topic in upcoming session. So I hope you have understood about what is cloud computing, why companies are moving towards cloud computing, because there are several benefits using the cloud computing, right? And we have also learned about it is cost effective because we don't have to buy physical hardware systems, right? We don't have to maintain the security, we don't have to maintain infrastructure and all those things. Scalable, right? If we need more computation power, we need more storage power, then we don't have to go and buy again the software and hardware. We can just use those, and whenever we don't need it, we can just downgrade it or decrease the sizes. Third, accessibility. We have learned the accessibility, right? Because if this all, the cloud computing works in internet, and if it is working the internet, right, we can also work from anywhere, so it is accessible from any devices or from anywhere. Next, we learn about easy to set up, like whenever we want any new application, new things, or any other services we want, we can just start using it after few clicks. Just create the service in or your subscription and use it. So this is what the cloud computing means. In upcoming session, we are going to learn Azure fundamental. There we will start using Azure, primarily Azure services, and we will learn how these services works. We will create all those services. We will go through all these services. We will also understand the pricing model, public model. We will understand public, private, and hybrid model. We will understand these infrastructure service, platform as a service, and software as a service. So, thank you for watching. Bye bye, and see you in next session. Thanks.